Welcome to the Miracles and Wellness Podcast. I'm Clarissa Booker, your holistic health coach and beauty expert. I know how stress can derail your well-being as an entrepreneur. I'll be sharing simple strategies to reduce stress, ditch stress eating, and replace other habits while energizing your day by incorporating more plants onto your plate, with small shifts that can boost your health, happiness, and productivity. Whether you're seeking guidance with weight loss, stress release, or just a moment to recharge, I invite you to join me. Let's optimize your wellness path. So be open to receive, because I believe that miracles are for everyone. Let's go. Hey there, friend. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about savoring each bite of our food and just trying to incorporate more mindfulness when we're eating our food, right? So, it's being fully present and just engaged with our meals and when we're eating, instead of just going off and rushing and doing all the things, right? Being able to slow down and just noticing the complexities of the flavors and the textures and just the smell of the food. You know, you can walk into a room, or even if you're walking down the street and you just smell some good food, you're just like, yes, and you just want some of that. Right? And that's a part of it. Just savoring each bite when you're in the process, when you're in the moment of eating, right? And this can definitely just help you develop a healthier relationship with your food and just better understand your body's hunger cues and just that feeling of fullness, right? And around now, September, it's a time when people are just returning back to their routine and just maybe trying to flow a little bit more into being a little bit more structured. Maybe there was a summer break going on. If you have children, young or old, they could be going back to school, transitioning to work. There's just so many things that takes place around this time. And then the seasons are starting to change, right? Are you in an area where you have multiple seasons? Do you get to see the fall leaves? Just all of those things, right? And sometimes these shifts can just increase our stress, and that can result in mindless eating, right? Because you're just rushing, just trying to wrap your head around all the things, right? And just practicing that mindful eating will just help you just to slow it down, right? Reduce your stress levels and just make more conscious food choices. Because the way we do one thing is the way we do other things as well. And just this can to help support our mental health and our physical health. Super important. And just like with the leaves, if you get to experience those beautiful changes of the weather, it can begin to get cool. Sometimes the body's immune system can become affected. And then when we're eating mindfully, we will pay more attention to having more nourishing foods in our system, right? You might be like, yes, this is more nutrient dense, and you might opt for a different food choice, more plant-based foods onto your plate, right? Because you're being more present and you're noticing everything and how it's making you feel. So then there's a positive aspect in that, helping our immune system out. Because I know even myself, if I eat too fast, I will become imbalanced, right? So my vata imbalance will kick in, and it will affect my digestion. If I'm eating too fast, then, I feel like if I'm just rushing, I'll be chewing my food too fast. I'm not chewing it properly, and my body is not able to digest it and absorb the nutrients, right? And then I might feel bloated, or, just that discomfort after your meals, and I will feel aggravated. Okay. I'm sure you probably can relate to this in some fashion. Okay. So having that practice of mindful eating will help create that routine around my meals. Okay. And just soothe that, right? Having that regularity in there. So just finding what that is for you, right? And knowing which foods correlate to your body, right? What is going to help you feel more in balance? Because that's going to be different for everybody. And it's easier for you to notice that which foods are helping you be more in balance when you are eating more mindfully, right? So you can work with a coach, and people will give you some items. And then within this, you have to notice what balances you out personally. Okay. So all of that will go hand in hand, and just choosing to feel good, right? Just if in everything in general, but even when you're sitting down and you have that plate, what helps you feel good, right? Just paying attention to that. You're either feeling good or you're feeling not good. There's like all of these emotions, right, that we have. This long list, right? But at the end of the day, do you feel good or do you not feel good? Okay. So choosing to feel good and paying attention to what that is for you, just embracing the moment, being present right there, and just envisioning yourself, right? Going through the process of being there, chewing your food, going through it, right? Taking those emotions that feel good with you, savoring it, bringing some joy into the picture, just channeling your energy into the thought that brings you joy, right? And if a less positive one comes up, if you start beating yourself up for something, just bring yourself back, right? Just let that thought pass and then go back to finding the next best thought that comes to you, right? Knowing how magnificent you are, knowing that you are doing the work still, right? And we're all human and anything can happen. Okay, so let's think about this. Let's break it down a little bit. So you can start with a pause. You have your delicious food that you have there prepared, and maybe prepared yourself. Yes. And just taking a moment and just taking a few deep breaths. Just helping yourself shift from that busy mindset to being more focused, relaxed, just preparing to enjoy this wonderful meal that's going to provide your body with nourishment. And just imagine yourself just sitting down at the table, just taking the deep breaths. And as you keep taking them, just feeling that sense of calm even before you take your first bite, right? Just being centered, just being in the moment, letting it all go, any judgment, anything that happened throughout the day, just any of those worries, if you have them, just letting them all dissipate. And when you're taking a bite, notice how the texture changes as you chew. And as the flavors, one by one, go on your palate, just savoring them, paying attention to the layers of the food, chewing slowly, chewing each bite, fully enjoying it. Allowing yourself to enjoy and savor it as it aids in your digestion, thinking about all the wonderfulness that this is doing for you, right? As you're swallowing, just taking the time, even putting your fork down, little things like that, just giving yourself the time to allow yourself to be full. Not rushing, listening to your body, taking the time, chewing 20 times if you need. Yes, appreciating this and what it's doing for you, keeping you alive, nourishing your body, giving you strength, fighting off disease, right? It's wonderful, magnificent. Just listening and allowing yourself to be 80% full, not stuffed. If you have your fork down and you notice that you're not eating anymore, you're good, right? Not rushing. Are you satisfied? Are you still hungry? Stopping to eat when you feel comfortable. And as you're eating more mindfully, this becomes a more simple task day by day. Just having that connection with yourself, that mind-body connection that has so many wonderful layers to it. So many intricacies of it. Because your body is simply amazing. Everything that it does for you. Noticing that you do feel good in this moment. And if you notice something like you're feeling something is a little off, listen to your body. Take a step back. Making sure you're staying hydrated, right? Getting your water in there, super important. Sometimes we eat so fast, we don't even realize we're full. And this can happen to anybody, so don't judge yourself. Don't beat yourself up. We're all just here coexisting together, right? And as you start practicing mindful eating, it's easy to sometimes slip back into old habits. No difference than whatever you are deciding to do for movement, right? If you have a routine down, whether that's in the gym, whether that's at home, whether it's outside, there's so many choices, right? You might fall off a day. But knowing that it might happen, you can slip back into old habits, but just pulling yourself back, just like with our breath, pulling ourselves back, right? Especially when we get distracted, life gets in the way, you get super busy, things can happen, but it's okay, right? Rushing through those meals, just feeling tempted to go back inside eating quickly. Once you notice it, fall back, be like, okay, I see what's happening here. And at that moment, you're good. You pull yourself back. Don't be like, I'm going to start on Monday. No, when you notice it, that's when you do it. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just be like, okay, I notice what I'm doing. And just be like, okay, I got this. Because you do. And if you're feeling doubt, investigate that, right? Get curious about where this is coming from. Just digging in, going back, right? You might have to write that down. You might need to talk to somebody to get down to the core of that. Because it's always deeper, of course, right? But trying to set aside a time for your meals. Can you get yourself on a routine with that? Okay. And in this day and age, we got our phones with us everywhere. Giving yourself that to not have the TV on, no phone to the table. Make it a family time, Even if you're having lunch and you're just having lunch by yourself, just no distractions, just being present in the moment. And it'll feel good. It'll be a nice pause, a nice moment to slow down. You're being kind to yourself. This is showing compassion to yourself, to your body, to your mind, giving yourself this time. Something as simple as you see, enjoying your food, your nutrition, this nutrient that you put in your body. They are so powerful, the things that they could do for you. Just show your gratitude to your food, to yourself, right? This is showing yourself some more love. Just embracing it. Eating on the go, even when you're eating in the car, you're not paying attention. You're just chomping away, or while you're walking. And then when you're doing these activities while you're eating, walking in the car, you're not paying as much attention, right? So just taking that back. It's like taking your power back, right? In a whole nother way, okay? So if you find yourself slipping back, just reflect on what might have caused this. So if something's going on, as we were talking about earlier, these changes of the seasons with maybe there's school involved, or there's a shift, or there's a project, whatever there's going on, maybe there's a launch and you're feeling super stressed because you'd be like, man, I need this to go off right now because I'm doing this one launch right here and then another one's not for a couple months. Pay attention, noticing what's going on, okay? Maybe it's the children. Maybe holidays will be here in a few weeks, just like that. Okay, time goes by fast. And that's a whole nother thing. Family. coming over. But just what I'm saying here is paying attention, trying to notice what's happening. That's if you're on this journey and something happens to shift you back on it. Okay. You owe that to yourself, right? But in a sense, you can just start with one meal. Okay, if you're like, this sounds overwhelming, I get it. It'll get better and easier and more simple as the time goes on. So you can start with one meal today. And then at the end of the day, you could always reflect. Starting with some deep breaths. Taking a few breaths in and out. And then just asking yourself some questions, because you know I love to ask questions, right? How do I feel? Did I eat mindfully today? Do I feel good, both physically and emotionally, before, during, and after my meals? Allowing yourself to write freely whatever comes up without judgment. Doesn't have to be neat, could be chicken scratch, whatever it is, just let it come out. Let yourself be free. Did I have any distractions or distressors today? How did I create the environment for me to eat mindfully? What can I do differently? How is my relationship with my food and my body? How do I feel? Showing yourself compassion when you're answering these questions. Just going to it with curiosity and love. Until next time.
Goodbye, guys. Thank you for listening to my mom's podcast. Leave a 5-star review.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode and are feeling empowered in your journey towards a thriving well-being. Also, share this episode to someone you know this will bless, as that's how we spread the message. And don't forget just to take 30 seconds to leave a written review on Apple Podcasts by scrolling down the show page and clicking write a review, because it also helps us grow. I appreciate you taking the time to show us support.